and the leadership of two important knowledge institutions of Dehradun, Survey of India and National Hydrographic Office. The students have visited these institutions, formed their impressions, and are ready with their questions. They will be engaging in a candid conversation with these fountainheads of knowledge. I would like to welcome on stage Sri Hitesh S. Makwana. Sir is an IS officer from the 1995 batch of Tamil Nadu cadet, who has been recently appointed as the Surveyor General of India. His tenures in the Union Ministry of Home Affairs and the Ministry of Water Resources reflect his dedication to public service across different sectors. I would also like to invite on stage Commodore Hardas, Officer in Charge NHO. Sir is a senior officer of the Hydrographic Office of Indian Navy. At sea, he has the distinction of commanding 3 survey ships. In his shore assignments, the officer has surveyed at Naval Headquarters and the National Hydrographic Office, Dehradun. I would also like to invite on stage our WOW board member and chair for this session, Lt Gen PJS Pannu, former Deputy Chief of Staff and Integrated Defence Service. Sir had a notable military career and his views on Indian security are frequently published in various media. He conducted the first ever space exercise in India in 2019. May I now invite the student moderators to the stage. Let's begin with the students from Doon International School. Can I request our technical team to please play the first video?
Oldest scientific department in India for over 2 centuries, being at the forefront for cartographical and geospatial innovations, surveying since 1767, the Survey of India.
We stand here to introduce from history to present the survey. Survey of India, headquartered at Dehradun, Uttarakhand, has 18 geospatial divisions ranging from prediction of tides to aerial surveys. 23 geospatial data centers spread across India, catering a wide administrative area. The museum at Survey, one of its kind in India, proudly showcasing the legacy of its past, the instruments and the equipments armed with theodolites and compasses. Great trigonometric arc, not merely a mapping exercise, rather a scientific revolution, a monumental feat in history of geodesy and mapping. The survey's legacy includes the precise mapping of the Indian subcontinent, which laid the foundation for scientific and infrastructural progress and led to creation of modern-day Everest-based map named after Sir George Everest. The Survey of India holds the distinguished honor of printing the very first postage stamps and the inaugural copy of the Indian Constitution. The Survey of India played a very crucial role during the Second World War by providing accurate maps. The survey also had the power of revenue mapping till 1905. Integration of advanced technologies to fulfill various needs, the geospatial mapping. The Swamitva scheme, a central sector initiative launched by the Indian government to provide rural households with property rights documentation. The Survey of India plays a key role as technology partner using drone surveying along with laser, scanner and GPS receiver to create accurate land records. The scheme is technology driven, using continuously operating reference stations for accurate mapping and a nationwide coverage targeting around 6.62 lakh villages across India. LiDAR, or light detection and ranging, is a remote sensing method that uses light in form of pulsed laser to measure distances to the earth. The key components include laser, scanner, and a GPS receiver. The LiDAR works on emission, reflection, measurement and data processing technologies. The continuously operating reference stations are a network of fixed GPS stations that provide highly accurate positioning data. These stations are strategically placed and continuously gather GPS signals to support a range of applications. Key features include precise positioning, permanent installation and network systems. The technological advancements in this survey have progressed exponentially, revolutionizing the entire field. The National Mission for Clean Ganga, a flagship program launched by the Indian government under the Ministry of Jal Shakti to clean and rejuvenate the Ganga River, aiming to ensure effective abatement of pollution and conservation of our river Ganga. In a sense, the Survey of India mapping agency, it is a vital institution that captures the very essence of India's journey through time, one map at a time. Our visit to the survey was an enlightening and unforgettable experience, leaving us with wealth of knowledge and a deep appreciation for the meticulous art of mapping.
Good morning, everyone. Before I directly answer your question, if I can digress a little bit and just say like, maybe if some people have gone abroad, or why abroad? Let's assume if we go to any other part of our India where Hindi is not spoken, that is our national Indian language. So now you see, as long as you go on a road, you know you need to follow a road. Only problem comes when there is some junction happens, when there is a signage, and if the signage is in a language which you don't understand, now the problem starts. But in India, fine, we drive on the left side of the road, we are clear. But if you go abroad to some country who drives on the right side or a wrong side, it's the perception again. Now the whole equation changes. Now with this analogy, you imagine a mariner going on a ship. If he traverses from a place A, a country A, en route he visits 5 countries and goes to his destination country, country B. Now, if each country follows a different set of rules, standards, now that mariner will have to end up learning 7 different products or presentation styles. Fine, it's not a rocket science, he will do that. But assume next time he goes to some other 7 different countries. Now you can't keep learning all these things. To prevent all these situations, there is something called a International Hydrographic Organization, which was formed in 1921, and of which India is a member since 1955. So now let's go back to the same mariner. Now in this case, what happens whenever he traverses these 7 countries? The maps we call charts in the naval parlance. What you call map on land, they are known as charts at sea. So for him, when he changes the charts from 7 different countries, there is no perceptible change. Everything appears same, the same color scheme, the same font, same presentation style, same format, everything is same. So for him, there is no change, there is no learning curve involved. So yes, we follow International Hydrographic Organization. And that is the short answer.
Thank you, sir. My next question to you is, since there are only 4 colors used in grading and marking the charts, why so? Why not any other color?
I must say, though it's very a simple question, but I feel it's a very difficult question. And with so much of bright students sitting in front of me, I will attempt to answer it. Now, when you see, now let's go back to fundamental before I actually answer your question. What do you mean by color? What is a color? When you say a color, it means what? A color is a visual representation or a perception of an electromagnetic spectrum. You know, some wavelengths get absorbed, some gets reflected, and the color is formed. Now, from this perspective, there are 2 color theories in the world. One is called additive color theory, one is called subtractive color theory. Briefly upon additive color theory, which is also called a RGB theory. RGB stands for red, green and blue. So this is also popularly known as RGB theory. These are the primary colors. Now this theory, additive theory, consisting of RGB, is mainly used for digital media, where like when you see your computer screen or any image on your computer screen, it is in RGB format. Why so? Because I'll just say because it is a part of subtractive theory, because here there is nothing called transparency or opaqueness you have to maintain on a digital media. So where RGB theory is used, and like you know better, when you mix red and green, yellow appears, red and blue, magenta, and so on and so forth. Now let's come to subtractive color theory. Subtractive color theory is basically a mixing of primary ingredients of pigments and to derive different colors. Now why it is called subtractive? Because when you mix various pigments and colors, it leads to absorption of certain wavelengths of white light. So some wavelengths are suppressed. So that's why in subtractive color theory, it is based on CMYK. That is cyan, magenta, yellow, and K for black. Now it's a funny thing again, why K is called black? Because you can't keep it B, because B becomes blue. Black you can keep BL also. But K is also, why it is black is called K, because a K is also, when you do offset printing, printing is done through plates. So the K stands for K plate or a key plate. Key plate is the one who has got maximum details when you print. When you print our chart, maybe 70% is black. So that is the first plate which you use. So that's why it is called key plate, which CMY or subtractive theory is used for printing media. Like our paper charts, any your printing of material which you see, that is based on CMYK technology. That's the answer.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Thank you for the golden opportunity that you gave us that we visited Survey of India. My question to you is, how does the Survey of India balance the need for public access to accurate maps with national security concern? Should sensitive data be restricted or modified for the security purposes?
It's a very good question. It means how we can restrict certain objects should not come to knowledge of enemy countries. See, there is a clear-cut policy. It is called negative list. Once government is notifying this negative list, those negative lists will not be depicted on the maps. Especially when it is a digital map, those will be blurred. Like I will just give you example, your atomic power stations, then launching stations, satellite launching stations, now even hydropower stations. All these are very vital for our national development. So the government has, up till now, we have identified 52 such negative attributes which cannot be depicted on the map.
Thank you, sir. The next question I would like to
This
ask.
list is getting updated. Means if now discussion is going on, we always talk about security. So security of border and those kind of things. But now economic security is also being discussed. So whether Reserve Bank of India can also be put in the negative list or not. So that if someone will make some mischief with Reserve Bank of India building, then means whole our countries, so many things will be in trouble. like stock exchange. Now, miss, we are having all digital currency is there. So there is that exchange is also there. So this is evolving and it is being frequently it is changed also. Have I give correct answer?
Yes, sir.
You are satisfied? Yeah.
Sir, my next question is, how is the Survey of India's geospatial data collection method different from those of other companies like Google?
See, Survey of India is a authority in doing survey and to create a map. Tomorrow, what data we provide, that data will have all kind of accuracy. We keep everything in our view while making our geospatial data. Google is having only commercial interest. There may be certain issues. That's why if you will see in Google navigation map, it comes accuracy to 5 meters, accuracy to 1 meter. While ISRO, if they want to launch their satellite, then what is the true north, what is magnetic north, that you cannot get from Google map. They have to necessarily come to Survey of India, and our team will go and then they will decide that this is a true north. So my point is that when there is a authentic data is required, and you require more precise, more precision. Why aircraft is not using Google map? Correct? So similarly, the navigation chart also, why no one is, why Google is not going into that field? Because their accuracy is most important thing. In aircraft, even 1 meter, 2 meters inaccuracy, it will create a big havoc. So that is why there is a separate division called Directorate of Air Survey. So more accuracy will be from Survey of India. Even many times Google will also take authenticity from us.
Thank you, sir. How does NHO ensures the accuracy of oceanography in its nautical charts?
And once again, I'll go back to the part answer of the question the first question which you asked. That is about International Hydrographic Organization. Now, whatever products we made, which is, let's say, encompassing nautical products, which consist of various nautical products like charts, publications, including both paper as well as digital products. Now, since we have already now aware and clear, it is used internationally by the mariner who visits our waters. Like incidentally, you must know in India, our Indian waters, only we, that is National Hydrographic Office, is mandated to produce the charts, and the merchant ships is mandatorily has to use our charts. They can photocopy the chart, but now you see you're talking about in lakhs and crores of rupees worth of ships with their cargo. In case some mishap happens, that ship is not going to get an insurance. So he has to use an official product of India, which is produced by NHO Dehradun. So they will not do photocopy, they will have to buy and use the product. Now, if he has to use a product, if I'm depicting a particular depth, say 29 meters in Indian waters, and the same standards or a set of principle which is used is internationally has to be adhered by all the countries. So when a ship comes showing a particular depth, he knows the measurement of this depth is complying to a particular international standard. So these standards of products are again promulgated by International Hydrographic Office. We are supposed to follow it, They are supposed to ratify products, and then only these products are commercially marketed and procured.
Sir, I would like to ask a follow-up question to the answer. Um, in case of any mishap that happens during the collection of data, how long does it take to create another nautical chart of that area?
It's a very general question. Okay, I understand your intent behind it. So now when you call a mishap can be a very minor mishap. Like say for example, a small fishing harbor, some fishing boat has sunk. And we're not, because fishing harbor is in very shallow depths areas. And just a small fishing boat has sunk, no ships are going. So it's a very minor mishap. So when you talk about navigational chart or nautical chart, it is mainly for the merchant ships. The country's economy, commercial activities dependent on our shipborne trade. Like you all must be aware, we have got fantastic coastline. Our 75% of the trade happens to sea. So the sinking of a fishing boat is a very minor mishap. It is not near the major port, doesn't affect anybody. So I don't have to update the chart. Now, if the same fishing boat sinks in a major port like say a Mumbai or a Chennai or a Kochi in the main channel, when I say channel, channel is or something like a road, a highway which a ship has to follow to enter or exit a port. If the same fishing boat gets sinks in the channel, it's a major mishap. The same fishing boat, but the context is different now. So now for me, that's a major mishap. And to produce a new chart, first a detailed survey has to be done. Assume the survey is done. Survey itself takes say 2 months, but let's discard that for the time being. So I will take around maybe with after a lot of quality control, maybe 6 months. Okay, now for that 6 months, we can't expose ships to the danger. So now there are 3 methods to update a nautical chart. First is immediate. The moment the fishing boat gets sunk in the channel, immediately the information comes to us either through the port or various authority. They tell us so and so boat is sunk. Now we would like to err on a safer side. We don't know whether it actually sunk or not. Like we are sitting in Dehradun, I don't know what is happening in the channel. But I would like to err on a safer side. So I'll say, okay, let's assume it is sunk. What, on the worst case, what will happen? Ships will be more careful. Even if somebody played a prank, let's say, I will still issue immediately notice within 4 hours to all the ships in the Indian Ocean. So and so ship is, vessel is, fishing boat is sunk in so much, so and so position. Please take avoiding action. Now they will say, okay, some boat is there, he will take avoiding action. Somebody has played a prank, I will come to know after a few days, I will cancel the notice. But now if the same fishing boat has sunk outside the channel, which the ships are not using, but it is still dangerous to navigation. It is still dangerous. So in that case, I will issue a notice after 15 days through something called notices to mariners. First instance or Navira, which is radio warnings, immediately issued, transmitted. Second is after 15 days. And if some major thing happens in a harbor, then we do a survey first, then produce a new edition of a chart. So these are 3 different methods. I hope I got the answer, or you're just nodding that because you have been told to. Epoch scheme, the women have been inducted, the women who are called Agniveers. They have been inducted annually. Now it's an annual affair, every 6 monthly. They are inducted, and they are slowly coming into the defense services. And since we are also part of defense services, even our ships have got women Agniveers. In Kochi, I'll say they have got 8 plus 6. We have got 19 women Agniveers in 3 of our ships who are already posted on board. So it is very much there. Our ships are not designed obviously, but we made some temporary modification. The new ships will be built to cater for the women Agniveers and women officers also.
Sir, the question for you is, What are the various projects the Survey of India plans to start and complete under the Vision of 2047 as underlaid by the Honorable Prime Minister?
This is planning. It's very difficult question to answer because we have already some plans, and you know, in government there is a various processes. First, you have to conceptualize the plans, then you have to prepare a proposal, then it will go to various ministries, and then there will be the approval. As far as it concerns to Survey of India, to make India geo-enabled nation, we have proposed a National Geospatial Mission, NGM, and our foremost important thing at present is to strengthen our CORS network. It is called Continuously Operating Reference System. It will give you accurate latitude, longitude of the place. At present, we are also having more than 1,000 CORS stations. But if you require more accuracy, more precision, because now we have huge infrastructure projects are coming up in our country. So our foremost important project plan is to strengthen this CORS network. So once we will strengthen this CORS network, and we want to bring it to the international standard. So that is a important our plan. Second plan is we have to make a when in 19th century we had maps 1:250,000 scale maps were there. When we came to 20th century, that those maps we made from 1:250,000 scale to 1:50,000 scale maps we made. Then we had plan of 1:25,000 scale map. Now we are planning to have even higher scale maps. So maybe 1:5,000 scale maps. So bigger the map, if scale is higher, then you can get more and more information of that area. So that is our second plan, and for that we have already working out. We have a plan for next 10 years, and we are having because now everything is becoming digital. So we have to strengthen our digital infrastructure. So that work is also been simultaneously going on. So this is a evolving area, and we are day in and day out we are working on that. And Survey of India is already total India's area is 3.2 million square kilometer. Presently we are having a higher scale map for only 5 lakh square kilometer. So our ultimate aim is to make it to 3.2 million square kilometer. High resolution imagery is also required, and on that basis we can make a digital map, so that all can use it in a very, very effective manner. Many of you might not be aware that suppose National Highway Authority of India is constructing a road. When they prepare estimate, this estimate will be 100 crore rupees. But when this implementation is happening, then 100 crore rupees will become 150 crore rupees also, and 200 crore rupees also. Because as we did not have accurate data, so many places, if in map we are showing one nala is going on, so it will look that it is 1 meter nala or 2 meter drain. But if you go to the field, it will be 100 meter also. So then for that, we can't say that those methods what were used in past were faulty, because those days science was evolved up to that level only. So that is why accordingly survey and mapping was done. Now we are having all new geospatial technology. So with that we can get better digital maps, and which it will reduce, and we can have accurate estimates for anything. Similarly, if you think about pilotless, driverless car, how driverless car will work? Unless and until you are having proper latitude, longitude of each and every place, you cannot have this. When we are doing, there is a high-speed rail network, rail work is going on between Ahmedabad and Bombay. So first thing what they did on that route, they have installed more than 60 CORS network. So that not even, you know, means we have degree, then minutes, and then second. So even 0.00 second also, there should not be the deviation. So there are many projects, are there, plans are there, Survey of India.
Thank you, sir. What are the various roles and tasks performed by you as the Surveyor General?
As a Surveyor General of India, see, the foremost important thing is to do our border survey we have to do, so that our armed forces and they can protect our border, so that citizens can live safely in our country. We do topography survey for whole country. So that is a foremost important thing, because where there is a hill, river, so that that topography of whole India is Survey of India is a agency to make a topography survey. We also where we do that tidal survey also, tidal, because you Commodore he mentioned, they have navigational chart. Similarly, we have a tide table. So each and every port, when what particular day, what will be the height of tide, and that work also being done by Survey of India. And every mariner and people who are involved in these waterways, they have to keep this tide table with them. So that also what we do. Survey of India is also doing, you all might be knowing that we are having lot of magnetic fields. So that magnetic survey is also being done by Survey of India. That is for whole country. What is so that's why we are in Sabawala, we are having one observatory. So these are the our primary work. Apart from that, yes, as a Survey General of India, you have to assist all our state governments. As you all know that India is a federal country. So Survey of India is at central level. State level also there are various state governments, agencies are also there. So Survey of India has to provide them various training programs also. So there's a lot of works are there with Survey of India. So our hands are full, and sometimes I have to also interact with the students like you.
Thank you, sir. So my question is, in case of any sudden emergency, how do ships react in that geographical term in that particular area?
You mean emergency means emergency at sea, some accident?
If, for example, a big ship sank, so what is the steps which the ships take, which are around that area?
Uh, I'm sorry, just to get myself clear, I'm sure you must be clear in your mind. You mean to say when the two ships collide as an accident or a ship sinks, then what happens to the people of the ship, or what happens to the what the ships nearby has to do?
What the ships nearby has to do?
About with respect to rendering assistance or taking avoiding action?
So should they avoid the incident, or they should take an action in helping the people?
Okay, so there are two subsets of the question. One is like we already covered, if the ship sinks in say shallow waters. When I say shallow waters, I mean to say less than 30 meters, because that's where the ships those are close to the coastal waters. So there then, like I've already covered, we issue, there are 3 types of warning method we issue, so that other ships stay clear of the area so they don't endanger themselves. So that I think we already covered. Second aspect is how to render assistance. Now at sea, what happens, though it's very difficult to visualize when you're sitting on land, but when you go to sea, all around it's only water, and you lose orientation. And it's very good to see in a movie a large sea, but you can't see the sea. Like, it's a function of your height of height. You all are bright students, so you'll know that. And the length of horizon is a function of your height of eye. Higher you go, your horizon distance increases. But at sea, like, roughly in a normal shape, it varies from 10 to 20 meters, your height of eye. So your horizon is roughly 12 to 14 nautical miles. So it is unlikely the ship will sink within your visual range. It's a sea is too big. So now when some ship sinks, there's something called a SOS, which is a part of GMDSS, which stands for Global Maritime Distress and Safety System. Each ship is equipped with a particular equipment. So when some mishap like happened, like everybody knows Titanic, they can press the SOS button, and whichever ship is close by within, say, 200 nautical miles, again the distance is a function of the speed of the ship. He should be able to react. Like if I might say 500 nautical miles and I acknowledge that SOS, it will take me 3 days to reach there. 3 days, a person in water with no support, I am not going to help him anyway. If it is in the icy waters like what happened with Titanic, 6 hours, 8 hours, body goes into thermal shock, hypothermia, and that's it. So I want to go there to save lives, not to recover, sorry, unfortunately the other aspect. So there's a mandate within 200 miles, if you can manage to deviate your course, you are supposed to acknowledge the SOS, and if you acknowledge, you are supposed to go and render assistance. But this SOS, when it is transmitted, now that is a function of the Coast Guard in India for the benefit of all. The search and rescue organization of oceans is handled by our Indian Coast Guard, who has got various maritime rescue coordination centers and sub-centers all along the coast. They acknowledge this SOS, and then they depute a ship which is close by, because they have got a complete plot of the area, which ship is around. They will divert. Most likely the merchant ship will not divert. That's the fact. Because it's a commercial ship. We must understand, merchant ship is there to make money. And there is nothing wrong, person making money, because his job is that. If he deviate from a course, now you see, I'll tell you my ship which I commanded, just to give some example. My ship used to consume, it has got 2 engines. My ship used to consume, which is a small ship, maybe 2000 ton. It used to consume 175 liters per engine per hour. That is the consumption of a fuel. Now you imagine, you stretch the ship 10 times. Now see, the ship is consuming in tons per hour. If we deviate a course, like when you talk about deviation of course in sea, it goes in days. He will deviate by 4 days, he will deviate by 10 days, 15 days. 15 days into 24 into say 1 ton fuel. You see the cost. He will do that. But when the same goods land up in our shore in India, the trader will hike up the price and we'll end up paying that extra price. It's not worth it. So he most likely will not deviate, and that's a function of a defense forces, that is the Navy as well as Coast Guard. They will render the assistance through these rescue coordination centers. We will go assist the ship, do the rescue part, do the salvage will be done by the company who owns the ship. But generally the defense forces will render the primary and secondary assistance. Merchant ships, if he's just close by, just next door, maybe within 4 or 5 miles, he will do out of sheer humanity. Otherwise, normally it is impractical for a merchant ship. They are too huge to deviate a course. That's the fact.
think there is a general blackout.
May I please have the closing remarks by the chair?
Um, well, thank you very much, girls and boys, for asking very intense questions to the Surveyor of India, General Surveyor of India. And of course, you know, when you talk about the Navy, oceanography, hydrography actually are one of the most important part of Indian value chain. I think in India, we are one of the best into hydrography. And therefore, my compliments to both of you. As Survey of India is something that I'm going to talk to you about in very simple way. When we joined the Indian Military Academy, we are issued with some maps, and we are told these maps are confidential and accounted. You can't lose the map because it is a property of Government of India. When you put the map, the first thing they tell you is that there is a map reference and there is a relation of the map to the ground. You know what is the first task given to you when you do map reading? Firstly, map reading is one of the first basic class that is taught to any military person. The first lesson is how to find your own position. Where are you? If you have found your own position correctly, only then will you be correct in going to where you want to go. Otherwise, you will go wrong because you don't know where you're sitting. So you have to take the references from certain objects which are there on ground and on map and take a back reference. And once you take a back reference, then you say, because I'm so many degrees angle, the magnetic angle, so many degrees magnetic angle to this point, this is the cross section of these two very important landmarks which are there on the map, also on the ground will tell you where I am located. The second most important thing is a survey tree and a trig height. And the trig height is 2R, 4R, 20R. So it is a relative height to the zeros which they create. And once you get onto a survey tree, it is normally the tree which you cannot miss. It is a big tree, old tree, which has been there. Now, if the survey tree is cut, there's a problem because it is there on the map, it is not there on the ground. So survey tree cannot be cut. I do not know how they account for these survey trees. But the survey tree cannot be cut. If you cut a survey tree, then there's a problem. A small incident which I will tell you, that in the year 1981, I was taking a patrol which was going to a place called Kangla on the Indo-China border. And our patrol started in the morning and we were carrying 25 kgs on our shoulders. We had rations, we had bedding, we had medicines, we had weapons, we had ammunition, and anything for us to survive. So the task was that you have to go to Kangla and find out if the Kangla is occupied or not occupied by the Chinese. We started walking, and in the northeast, the evenings are shorter. So by 4 o'clock, it was getting darker and it started snowing. And I was stopping and reading the map constantly. So one of the experienced soldier tells me, कि साहब आप नक्शा मत पढ़िए, मेरे को मालूम है मैं आपको ले जाऊंगा. तो मैंने बोला नहीं, मैं ट्रेनिंग करके आया हूँ, मेरे को नक्शा पढ़ के आपको लेके जाना. नहीं साहब, आप थोड़ी थोड़ी बात रुक के आप नक्शा पढ़ रहे हो, आप चलिए. रात पड़ गई, हम चलते गए. फिर मैंने नायकोड़े को पूछा, नायकोड़े कितनी दूर जाना है? तो कहता साहब थोड़ा और दूर. मैंने बोला कितना और दूर, तेरे को पता है हम अभी कहाँ पे हैं? कहता साहब माहित नहीं, मराठी इज मालूम नहीं. Now I had a problem. I didn't know my own position. I didn't know where I have to go. So then I said, okay, safety first. We will continue to walk to a point where we can now camp at night because we had missed those gufas where we were supposed to stay at night. We walked to a point and we had no idea. And I told everybody to go off to sleep. So we pulled out our sleeping bags. We went to sleep. The soldiers are very good. Since I was the leader, they pulled my sleeping bag with me inside into a khadda so that they could be around me. And I would wake up like this and the soldiers with bayonet shining were patrolling the area around me. I said, तुम सो जाओ, किसी को क्या पता हम कहाँ पे हैं? कहता नहीं साहब, आप सो जाओ, हम आपको रक्षा करेंगे. early morning when the sun rose, I knew that is east. Then I pulled out my map and I started looking at the heights and around me, and I started relating those heights on the map to the ground, and I realized we had actually crossed the boundary and we were well within the Chinese territory. How did I come to know? Because of the map which I had. Imagine if I had started reading the map, I would not have been in a situation that I was in now. That we had not read the map, and now when I read the map, I realized that we are much into China boundary, and I very quickly drew a line and I said, "Utho, hum China mein aa gaye, वापस चलो और south की तरफ चलो," because I knew India is in south. And then we started running from there, and of course, lo and behold, there were some Chinese posts who were whistling, and we came down to our safety of our own place. We realized that the dog which was supposed to be accompanying us, because Naikawade was not doing a navigation, he was dependent on the dog. And at night he didn't realize that the dog wasn't there. Dog was sitting exactly where the boundary lied. The animal knew, but we continued to falter and we did not read the map. So we came back and the dog's name was Rani. Rani welcomed us. That abhi aap bhule the, mere ko aapne trust nahi kiya, welcome back, and then she accompanied us all through our patrol. That is the importance. So where a soldier dares to go, the Survey of India has already done a survey. And today most of the survey is done from the space. But earlier they would actually go from one place to another, take a triangulation and survey the area by physically making a map to the accuracy that we could fire a RT round and it would fall on the target. By making sure that on the target, if you have the enemy location marked, you have your own area and your guns could fire on it. That is the kind of accuracy that we look forward from Survey of India. The Chinese are these days surveying the Indian Ocean. Why are they surveying the Indian Ocean? Indian Ocean looks flat. Only 12 nautical miles belong to us, which are national waters. After that is international water, which is a global common. But EEZ is 200. So up to 200 you can't explore, but you can navigate. So the point is, how do the ships recognize whether you are in national waters, you are in international waters, or whether you are in the EEZ or beyond the EEZ, is how much detailed survey is there and how you have something to demarcate. To demarcate. How you can't draw lines in the water, but you have to recognize those lines somehow. So that is what the maps and the ocean charts are giving us, that kind of ability. And the last thing is, under the water there are mountains. And those mountains are very high or very deep. If you imagine you take out all the water from the world, you will find that you will find Himalayan ranges, like there will be valley of words, as we say. There are valleys. And the Chinese are constantly doing a survey of the Indian Ocean, because today, if they don't have the survey, or they don't have that kind of intelligence which is the underwater, they will not be able to run their submarines. So to run a submarine, you need a complete survey of what is underneath, and that is exactly what they do. But the Chinese don't have those maps, so they have to make their own. And therefore, you're talking about international cooperation and certain things which you have to hide from your adversary. So I think in the very short thing, very well done. You asked great questions. And I think the two gentlemen who are respected in the way that I have explained the importance of survey in the oceans or on ground is extremely valuable. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
What an informative session this was, wasn't it? Can I have on stage the teacher in charges, the students, and the nodal officers of Doon International School? I would like to request the chair to please present a vote of thanks to the students, the teachers, and the nodal officers.